Han Bin only glanced at the man carrying a gun on the plane and immediately knew the flight would never reach its destination. Sure enough, those men soon began distributing weapons. That was the signal to act. This was 1970, a time when airports had not yet implemented security checks. A passenger plane flying from Tokyo to Fukuoka was hijacked. The hijackers demanded that the captain change course to North Korea. All 138 passengers and crew were thrown into panic, except Han Bin, who remained calm. He knew these hijackers belonged to a radical left-wing faction of the Japanese Communist League. They had received military training in North Korea and returned to Japan with the goal of launching a revolutionary war. The aircraft was unstable due to worsening conditions, making an emergency landing difficult. Fortunately, the captain, Honda Kuniko, had over 10,000 hours of flight experience. He didn't simply obey the hijackers. Instead, he claimed the domestic flight didn't have enough fuel to reach North Korea and would need to land at the nearest airport to refuel. Of course, this was just an excuse. Pyongyang wasn't that far, but the plane didn't actually have enough fuel. The captain was just trying to buy time and wait for rescue. The hijackers weren't fools. The entire plane was filled with hostages. Just as they were about to make an example of someone, the previously silent Han Bin suddenly stepped forward. He requested to meet the leader of the hijackers. Facing guns and threats, he showed no fear. He directly told the leader to release the women and children. If they truly wanted a revolution, they couldn't start by killing innocent people. Winning public support was crucial. If they released the women and children, the blame would fall on the government instead. To convince the leader, Han Bin opened his suitcase. Inside were bags of expensive flour worth 90 million yen. He promised to help them, showing his sincerity. The leader decided to trust him and released all the women and children. But secretly, Han Bin slipped a note to a child as they left. Soon, the plane took off again toward Pyongyang. The hijackers relaxed, but Hyun Bin knew it wasn't over. As the plane entered South Korean airspace, fighter jets were dispatched. Months earlier, another hijacking attempt had been thwarted by an air traffic controller named Kai, who cleverly redirected a plane away from North Korea and saved 39 passengers. Now, Kai was in control again. The plan was to guide the plane to a South Korean airport and disguise it as Pyongyang by using soldiers dressed as North Korean personnel. But the hijackers had been to North Korea before. When they spotted U.S. troops, they immediately realized they had been tricked. One hijacker prepared to kill the captain, but Hyun Bin stopped him. If the captain died, no one could fly the plane. Hyun Bin proposed a better idea. Shift responsibility to the Japanese